This week marks the 50th anniversary of the U.S.'s military transition to an all-volunteer corps. But this anniversary comes as the military faces a historic recruiting crisis. The Army, Air Force, and Navy are all on track to miss recruiting goals again this year. Even more alarming, perhaps, according to a recent Pentagon study, 77% of potential recruits are not even eligible to serve due to weight, substance abuse, or overall physical health. Can the military reverse this trend? Joining me now to discuss it and more is FRC's Executive Vice President Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin. He was a founding member of the Army's Elite Delta Force and former Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence during the George W. Bush administration. General, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Thank you very much, Joseph. It's good to be with you.
Good to be with you. Now, before we get into the recruiting crisis, I'd like you to comment, if you can, on the recent anniversary, 50 years of an all-volunteer corps. What's the significance of that to you?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it was a great idea in 1972 when they made the decision that ultimately took legs in 73 to have an all-volunteer force. And in doing that, what you were doing is you were guaranteed that the people coming in wanted to be there. And that's not the case when we had a draft or we were bringing people in that had not necessarily wanted to be in the military.
So in 1973, when that began, do you think that more Americans wanted to be there than do today?
There's no question about that. And I think all the polls show that there are the Gen generation especially just does not see an imperative to serve in their military, to support their country. And that's a very sad thing. And I will tell you that a lot of that is really what's behind this failure to meet our recruiting goals. And that is because in large measure, nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to say anything about it. But in large measure, we have taken history out of the public schools and out of the universities. And we're talking about American history. And as a result, they have no idea what this country is, the price that's been paid for this country, who our founding fathers were, and what our military has done around the world for nations that in some cases we don't even hear about. So I think that history is a key to turning all of this around and being able to get young people back into the military.
General, you talked there about the lack of interest in serving among the younger generation. According to a 2022 Morning Consult poll, only 16% of Gen Z, and that's those under 24, said they were very proud to be American. Now, this is a huge difference. It's significantly lower than the 73% of baby boomers, their grandparents, who say they are very proud to be an American. What do you think led to this huge disparity between older and younger Americans in terms of how they feel about America?
Mm-hmm. Well, I just told you part of it, and that is the fact that they don't know our history. They have been denied the right to actually be proud to be Americans because they don't know what America has done for the world. We have done more for the world than any other nation in history, and they are not aware of that. So that's a very difficult thing for me to accept. The other thing is, though, that as we have watched the Marxist in America, the Marxist movement, and it's real, and you can't deny it anymore. That Marxist movement has done everything they could to denigrate this nation. And you ask yourself, where do these young people get their information? And they get it on social media. And if you just look at social media, you see that there's nothing but criticism of America. Everything that we've ever done has either been hidden from the public, especially from Generation Z, or it has been altered in such a way that you have no perspective in terms of what America has done and how much we've benefited the entire world.
General, another contributing factor to the recruiting challenge 77% of potential recruits are unqualified to serve because of health problems or substance abuse issues. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, first of all, that number is climbing every year. And we really need to be very, very concerned about that. Now, I think what you'll see is that these young people, there is a big job market out there, but that's not the reason that they're not coming in. They are hearing the horror stories of what's happening in the military as these soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines are being forced to sit in a classroom and have someone tell them that all of you white guys are oppressors and all of you black guys are the ones they've oppressed throughout our history. And then when you throw into that the vaccination that they didn't want to take, most of them didn't want to take, and those that did want to take it were able to, but those that didn't want to take it were bullied. They were put out of the military. Over 8,000 people put out of the military. You think that might impact on our recruiting when they get out and they tell all their buddies and all the people that they're associated with, don't go in the military. Don't go in the military. They will do these things to you, and that is not what you're going in to do. And you'll spend less time preparing for war and more time trying to be woke.
And as to the physical fitness issues, perhaps video games have become a national crisis, and we'll see how to fix that as well. General Boykin, thank you so much for your time today.
Glad to be with you, Joseph.